Here we are again in the beautiful pink Cadillac. Every time I feel like I have to tell you the cool features about it because, girl, you need to be in one if you're not in one already, okay? One of my favorite things, and you have to admit my audio quality has improved as time has gone on, but truly, when you ride in a Cadillac, it's got this Bose. Yes, I said Bose. So if you like the bass, I know I've said this before, but it's got some good bass. But it has Bose noise canceling technology. So you're like, you would not know this. It is windy today, like windy. It was 65, or no, 60 yesterday, and it's going to be 18 tomorrow. And so I always say it in a dramatic way to my kids, the winds of change are coming in. Mom, jeez, mom. Like, they're 11 and 8, and isn't that our job as parents, is to embarrass them, or just, a little bit at least. Can't be too cool all the time. But anyway, so you would not even know it. You can hear a pin drop in this dang car. Like it's awesome. And you don't realize it. You get really spoiled until you ride in an older car and you go, oh my gosh, like I have to shout to even hear somebody. So, yeah, I love that piece of it. It's just so quiet in here. And speaking of kids in this Cadillac, okay, this is a unintended consequence of, it's a good consequence, but they're going to have to learn the hard way, my children. When I was growing up, I grew up on a farm, and it was like, find the beateriest beater car that, you can even see through the bottom of it a little bit. Like there's an actual hole in the bottom of the car. Yeah, that was my first car. So I drove a 1979. Okay, and this is the 90s, okay, when I was driving this car, mid to late 90s. 1979 Volkswagen Rabbit diesel. My, have we come a long way, this pink Cadillac. And it was stick shift, which I still love. It's harder and harder to have the opportunity to drive a stick shift car, but man, is it fun every now and then. And that thing, I think I went through like 4 alternators, like nothing ever worked. And my favorite story was my brother and I were driving around this area of my hometown in Wisconsin called Sunset Curve. And we're just going like, I don't know, a good 30 miles an hour. And all of a sudden, I'm going from driving like this to like this. Like, I'm like, oh, that was weird. And then we just look over and you see a wheel just like rolling over. Oh, the wheel fell off. That's fun. So then we had to wait for my dad to come bring the tractor and dig us out. So anyway, we've come a long way, have we not? So today is fun because I thought you could come with me to an interview to meet with a prospect about, learning more about her and, ways that Mary Kay could benefit her in her life right now. And so I thought we would talk a little bit on the way, like we always do. Put that thing back. But first, I thought of this fun thing. If you haven't noticed, okay, I'm kind of, I'm not a big handbag person. I mean, I'm not going to turn down a nice handbag, but I'm more of a shoes and sunglasses girl. So I have a ton of sunglasses, and so this is pair 3. So I figure every time I do a vlog, I'm going to wear a new pair of sunglasses. So just kind of a fun little something, right? So anyway, so let's talk about an interview. What do you do? How do you get them booked? That whole thing. First off, working full circle. I talk about this all the time, every YouTube video I've ever made, any training I've ever done, because it is the secret to success in this business, which means that every appointment you are booking from your bookings, you're getting referrals, you're selling product, you are sharing the opportunity. Okay, and I find that most consultants and some sales directors, okay, I had to do that. Skip that part because either we're afraid or we think, oh no, I don't want to like be pushy, or I don't want to share it. But you guys, like, our opportunity is, I think it's the best offer we have, right? Like we have a lot of offers. We have the offer of amazing products. We have the offer of taking that teaching approach. If you've watched the last vlog about, doing bridal fairs and stuff like that, that's an offer. But I think our best offer is the Mary Kay opportunity. So if you just closed your eyes and thought, what would it be like in my life right now if I didn't have Mary Kay? Like, have you ever gone there? I'm not gonna lie, I have. And here's the thing that I've realized and that we need to be sold out on. There are so many ways, like since I joined 19 years ago, there's so many ways to make money, right? Side hustle, whatever we're calling it these days, like Etsy shops, Uber, DoorDash. You could drive for those people. A lot of people do that around here. There's just so many more things. But the thing that separates us from all of those is the education that we offer, the community that we have. Like those people don't have a community like we do, right? So I really think our offer, but also the money. Okay, so the money is good too. Let's not just kind of skip over that. Sometimes I lowride when I'm driving. It drives my husband crazy. He's like, it's like you're laying down over here. I'm like, yeah, but it's comfy. I'm just sitting up a little bit here. So anyway, our offer is, I think that is our best offer. And so why wouldn't you want to offer it at all of your beauty sessions, virtual, in person, whatnot? So just to kind of give you an idea of what I do, I always share the opportunity at the appointments. And all it is, there's videos on my emilyschutte.com website. It's what's in my bag. You guys, there's two different things. So if you drew two different roads, like you made two roads on a piece of paper, right? On the left-hand side is the education road, and on the right-hand side is the persuasion road, okay? This is like persuasion stuff. So the education road is teaching people about what you have to offer. And so that's what I do at my parties, is Mrs. CAB, the acronym MRSCAB. M stands for money, R is recognition, S is self-growth, C is the car, A is advancement and advantages, and then B is be your own boss. So during the party, I'm educating her, them, all of them about it. But you guys, I want you to hear this. You need to hear this. Educating is not persuading. Now I want to just do something else here. Persuading is not convincing. Because we get that confused too. I do not talk people into selling Mary Kay. Oh no, friends. This is a decision they will come to on their own without me talking them into it. Persuade, I think, okay, I'm not real good at Latin stuff, but I think per means, it's one or the other. One of them, per and suade, one of them means to take through or to guide. And then the second one means to completion. So to persuade someone means to guide them to completion. You're guiding, you're not like dragging, you're not convincing. So, okay, so you've got these two roads. You've got the education road and you've got the persuasion road. And we get confused in Mary Kay that the education road, like, we should just educate them about the opportunity and they're going to want to do it. No. My friends, what the persuade road does is it's you figuring out what the payoff is for her. Because when you can find what the payoff is for them, and then using the educational road, showing her how this opportunity will lead to that payoff, you're going to sign a new team member every single time. So let me just clarify this, because we think we do this in Mary Kay, so let me give you an example. I recently had a woman, this wasn't my personal team member, it was someone on my unit, and she said she wanted to join Mary Kay because she really wants the community, okay? Like she just wants the community. So in our minds, this is what we do. We go, oh my gosh, okay, she wants community. We have that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell her all the different ways that she is going to, have so much fun. Like, here's this event, and this is a community thing, and we've got these conferences, that's community. So we sit and do that, right? But the reality is, okay, so there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I've done it, but then I studied this and I was like, okay, we're gonna get really scary good at this. So Mary Kay always said that sales, okay, is finding a need and filling it. True. But I think what she really meant is finding the payoff or the reason behind the need and filling that. So in the example I just gave you, right? She really wants the community, and so then we go into that. That's not wrong. But friends, if you want to really add value to people's lives and have a big juicy team, why? Okay, and so here's the great part, you guys. We think it takes so much skill to have team members. It doesn't. I think the number one thing that you need to have team members, besides positioning yourself in front of people, I mean, you can't recruit nothing, is being naturally curious. That's all it takes, is just being naturally curious. So, for example, as soon as she said that, I was like, well, why? Why does she want a community? There's something behind that, right? It's not just, oh yeah, I just want a community. What's behind that? And so that's where I come from, is what's the reason behind the payoff? And here's the great thing, is the payoff that you're like, well, how do I find the payoff? You don't have to do anything. She's going to tell you, right? Have you ever just, here's what I do when I'm at a party and I'm looking at her scale of 1 to 10. I just say, oh my gosh, like, Kendra, you were a 5 on the, or not, I don't have a 5 on my interest scale, my goodness. Kendra, you were a 6 on the interest scale. Tell me about that. And I shut my mouth. And she will, I mean, they will just tell you what their payoff is. They'll say, well, yeah, I don't know, I just put 6 because, it could be really nice to just have like the security of a side thing, or, just some money. Okay, she just told you her payoff. Now you've got to find out why. What's behind the payoff? What do you mean by security? And so all you have to do to find the why behind the payoff is just ask her. So I asked this woman, I said, well, tell me more about the community part. Like, because that could mean a lot of different things. So what does that mean for you? Like, what would excite you about having a community again? And she goes, this is what she tells me. She goes, well, I grew up in this big family with like 10 people, and they all moved away. And I've watched you guys on things, and it just seems like you're this big family. And I was just thinking this could be a great way for me to get that back. Isn't that so much more informative and powerful than like, I just want to have friends? And that's what we think in our mind. So now I can hone in my message to what she actually cares about, which is, how are we like a family? That's different than what are all the events you do to hang out, right? It's like, no, how are we a family? And I might go into, oh my gosh, you would love our Facebook unit group. Like, we're supporting each other. We're sharing ideas. I'm going to talk about the collaboration. If I meet with her in person, I might wear my team sweatshirt, which I have on today, just, to get her excited about being a part of this family that we've created. And you guys, whatever team you're on, whoever your director is, or if you are a director, brag up your team, okay? Because all teams in Mary Kay are different. None of them are bad. They're just different, right? So, whenever someone says to me, oh, how I don't know, you have people kind of bag Mary Kay a little bit, and they're like, well, my friend did it, and she had a bad experience, and this person was pushy, blah, 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 blah. Here's what I say to that. I say, you know what? Sorry she had that experience. And just as a side, you and I both know that there's 3 sides to that story, but I just, affirm it, like, not give into it, but, I'm sorry she felt that way. And I can't speak to that, right? Because I don't know those people, but what I do know, I can speak about my team and what we do and how we operate and how we treat people and the things that we do to build family. And so do that with your team. What are the things that make your team special? And use that as part of your conversation when you're having these team building conversations, right? Because they're going to be joining that team. So why not brag it up? So anyway, so finding the thing behind the thing is what I like to call it, the thing behind the thing. So today, okay, so sorry, rewind. We're at the party, okay? I share the opportunity. My profile cards have a scale 1 to 10. 1 means they would rather eat hot dogs off the floor than ever sell Mary Kay. They can't say 5 because it's not on the form. And 10 means I'd sign up today. Where would you be? And this is what I say at the end of my party. So I just did the 1 to 10 scale, and I say, and you know what? If it would benefit you to get more info, you put like a 6 through an 8. What we can do is I can send you some info, and I'll either call you or we can meet for coffee or whatever. And all I would do is answer your questions and see if it's a fit for you or not. So then they circle it. Then we're in the individual consultation, or, if it's virtual, I'm kind of texting them this afterwards. And I'll say, Kendra, you were a 6. Tell me about that. She's going to tell me what her payoff is. She's also going to give me 15,000 objections. If you've listened to any of my trainings, I don't necessarily teach overcoming objections because it's a rabbit hole you'll never get out of. She'll say, I don't have the money. You overcome that. Now, oh my gosh, my husband won't let me. You'll overcome that. I don't have the time. Then you'll overcome that. And here's the way to look at it. When you are moving people in a direction, right? You're taking them through to completion, as the word persuade means. People are looking, like if you imagine you're standing in a pond with these people. You're in a pond, like a clear, or the ocean, I don't know, somewhere where you can see your reflection in the water. And you're looking down into, like, she's looking down into the water through her lens and seeing what she sees. And there's gravity to, like, those negative emotions that we have about something are like gravity. They keep us looking down. And so your job is to keep her looking up. And I feel like when you overcome objections, it reinforces looking down instead of reinforcing looking up. So when I am in an objection spiral, and there's a difference between objection and concern. Okay, objection is kind of, it's almost drama a little bit in the sense that it's like, well, I don't know anybody. Okay, that's drama versus my one concern is I don't know a lot of people, so what would that look like? Do you see the difference? Objection is like I'm in a headspace of not wanting to learn versus a concern is like, hey, legitimately, like how would I meet people and what does that look like? Okay, and then you have to go into education for that piece. But whenever I'm in that objection spiral, all it takes, it's like the life vest of life pulling her out of, pulling her head up and looking up is simply just saying, so Kendra, I'm totally listening to all the reasons why, this might be hard for you or this wouldn't work for you. But what I really want to know is, why would this excite you? How could this add value to your life right now? Okay, that gets her looking back up and remembering, oh yeah, we're actually having a conversation about how this could actually benefit me and not all my 50,000 reasons why I'm scared to do it. So it keeps her looking up. So I'm always a big fan of that. So then, we might have a conversation there. Now, I did just, you might, let's say they're an 8 or a 9 on the scale. I usually am just like, so what do you, we have a conversation about it, and I might say, what do you feel comfortable doing? Do you want to get started? We could, I could just send you the link right now. We could get it going. Like, are you ready to start? And I've had yeses recently. Yep. Okay. Pulls out her phone. I text her the link. She does it right on the spot. Voila. And some are like, I just don't know. So this gal I'm going to meet with today, she's like, I've been thinking about adding something like this for a while. but I just need to wrap my brain around it. And if you haven't watched my Ignite Your 2024 team building video, you'll know that, you just told her there's a living, breathing unicorn in the room and she hasn't had time to wrap her brain around it yet. And that's okay. So then I ask, okay, great. Would it benefit you? This is my magic script. No one ever says no to, well, I shouldn't say that. I do get some no's, but it's pretty rare. Would it benefit you to learn more about it and at least just learn more about it? Yep, yeah, totally. Awesome. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you a link and it's got different people's videos. You can click on one of them. It's got some of the info I talked about today, like the starter kit flyer, the cars and things like that. So I'm going to send that to you. And again, if you watched any team building thing of mine, you never leave the appointment without an appointment. And so then I said, so what would be better for you? Would it work better if we did a phone call where all I do is answer your questions and see if it's a fit for you or not? A Zoom, or if you want to have a little fun, we can meet for coffee or ice cream or, whatever. Whatever time of year and whatever she might be into. And this gal said, I think meeting in person, because I know that my husband would really want to meet you and just make sure, he likes to read people's energy, and I don't know, it's just kind of a cool thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm into that. Let's do it. So we set this appointment for today. So I'm meeting both of them for coffee. No idea what to expect, but here's what's cool. Okay, this is going to make you feel, I don't know, maybe this will terrify you or make you feel better about doing interviews. I never go in with any agenda, any preset questions I'm going to ask, nothing. And I know that I've made them and used them myself before, where there's this interview guide, that we have, and it's like, okay, I'm going to ask about her, I'm going to talk about me, then I'm going to ask her this, then then I'm going to ask her this, and you have 1 to 10 things that you're going to talk about and ask her, and you kind of go in with a little bit of an agenda. I used to do that. She's already heard some info, so all I'm going to do, this is how I recruit so much, is I find the thing behind the thing and I connect it with the best fitting thing in Mary Kay, right? So again, I'm going to walk into this thing. Her husband wants to see my energy. So I'm going to be, getting to know him and just, reducing uncertainty, that kind of thing. And then it'll be like, Jennifer, when we talked at the appointment, you said, you weren't happy with your job right now. And, you've always kind of been curious about a side thing. Tell me again, repetition is one of your best persuasion friends. Tell me again why, or tell me again, what aspects of Mary Kay would really add value to you in your life right now. And maybe your husband can chime in too. And, she's going to say her reasons. I don't think he's seen any info on it yet, so I might have to go into education and go through some of the Mrs. Cab stuff with him. But she's going to tell me the payoff within 3 minutes, after, there's a period of time where it's the get to know yous and get your coffee order, whatever. But within 3 minutes of getting down to business, she's going to tell me her payoff. She already told me, but she's going to reiterate her payoff, which again is selling herself on the payoff of what we offer. And so I'm going to, then I'll be like, cool, let's just talk about what that might look like. And then that's it. I don't have set questions. And then it might be like, so what questions do you have? Now, I have a rule of thumb. Sometimes we say the phrase, do you have questions? Because we're just nervous and we don't know what else to ask or say. So my rule is, if you've had a conversation, you've asked, do you have questions once, and you're tempted to ask it again because you just don't know what to say and you don't, it's kind of gotten to a lull, that is the magical moment that you need to ask the closing question, because there is no more questions, because there's a lull. And so this is where you just take your 20 seconds of courage. And I'm a big chicken kind of at heart, and so this is how I word it. Kendra, you seem excited about it. What are you thinking? And then the next person who speaks is the one who goes home with the starter kit, right? You seem excited about it. What are you thinking? And there might be a moment of silence. You just live with it because she's processing and she's maybe thinking of how she wants to respond to that. So just don't like chew the back of your lip if necessary. Like chew it off. Just chew that thing right off. Like just mouth closed, because they're about to realize that they have this moment of courage and they might say, you know what, I'm just going to do, I'm going to go for it. And if you speak, you've interrupted the courage flow. Truly, you've interrupted the courage flow by speaking. So don't do that. So that's what it looks like. And then in case I have to go into education about anything, but I'm not going to go in there and like just start reciting Mrs. Cab stuff unless they have a question about, if her husband asks me, well, how do you make money? Okay, then we'll go into that. But I'm not going to then go into all the other things unless he wants to know. I'm going to focus on the payoff for them as a couple and for her as a woman and how Mary Kay could fill that. Now, one thing I do bring with me, and I'm driving right now, but when I'm not driving and I'm in the parking lot because I'm getting there a little bit early, I do have a binder. Back in the day, we called it a recruiting notebook. I just call it my binder of possibilities, meaning in the event that she says, I don't have the time, or I'm concerned I don't have time, I have weekly plan sheets in there that I can pull out and like do a schedule with her and see what her life is like and then show her physically where to fit it in. Then I have sheets in there like if someone's like, hey, what are the starter kit options? Guess what? I've got like 5 printed out that I can just take out and hand them. I have an avenues of income flyer. I have, oh, this is a gem. I have my weekly accomplishment sheets from my first 3 weeks in Mary Kay, and then I also have my little tracking sheet with my last like 10 parties on it so that they can see, you know, if they want to talk about the money. But I'm not pulling these things out to like show or impress them. I'm only pulling them out if that's where the conversation is going. Because you're focused on her payoff and what she needs, not what you want to say and how you want to convince her into it. I'm telling you, this is persuading in this way, taking it through to completion. It feels so good because you are genuinely finding the need, the reason behind the need, and filling that. And people are going to feel so excited to come alongside you in their business because you helped them see that. And it's actually kind of freeing. You don't have to have an agenda. You don't have to be good at anything. You just got to ask questions and be genuinely curious. And then when they have questions, answer them. And then you seem excited about it. What do you think? Like, that is it, friends. That is it. That is it. Now, as your confidence grows, so will your yeses in all of these things. Now, I have had people, here's just one tip about in person. People recruit closest to the product. So I'm fine doing in-person meetings like this as long as it's within 1 to 4 days. Here's what can happen. You're at the party and you say, you do your thing. Would it benefit you to at least, learn more about it? Yep, that would be great. Awesome. I'm going to send you this link. It's got different people's videos, blah, 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 blah. I could, I would love to just answer your questions and see if it's a fit for you or not. What would be a good time? Or, would phone be better? Would Zoom be better? Or do you want to meet in person for coffee? She says coffee. I say, great. And then I start looking at this week. And she goes, oh, shoot, I've got basketball this day. And I've got, church. And then I've got blah, blah, blah. Pretty soon we're looking out 2 weeks. I go, you know what? I'll just cut it off. And I'll say, you know what? It looks like you're kind of full. Why don't I just call you? We'll go old school. I'll just call you. I make a joke out of it because it is kind of old school to call people, but I love old school. Why don't I just call you? Yeah, that'll work good. They sort of digress too and want you to call them. So then I'll set up the phone meeting because again, and then this other thing can happen too. Sometimes people feel like they can't sign up until they meet with you. We don't want that either. So we want to be, we want to keep things moving and keep the conversation moving along. So yeah, so I will show you the notebook here in a minute, and then I'll also I wanted to take a second and just show you some of the things that I was telling you about. So first off, my binder. So this is my binder, and I have lots of different papers in here that just, if I need to, I don't just pull them out unless people want to flip through it or whatever. So I have weekly accomplishment sheets from back in the day. I've got my IPA sheet. So if they want to see how I teach consultants how to track their activity, we've got the car flyer. All these things are on my website. There's this sheet about like owning your own business, like if they just want an info sheet. And then I always have weekly plan sheets in here in case I need to go through, I need to go through the timing aspect, and it's just all in a binder, and I just keep this in my office and grab it. The other thing that I like to bring, I always bring my date book. I know I keep an old school paper date book. I love it still. And then I always bring, so this is my homemade, you can tell because the lines are like my 8-year-old drew them on. This is my tracking sheet for parties for the month. So it shows, the hosts, okay, I gotta get this right in the camera. The host's name, how much the sales were, how many faces, how many bookings, and who the prospects are, so that they can see tangible results of, hey, this is literally what I'm selling in real time right now, in case they want to see that, or we need to have a conversation about, again, because if her payoff is money and you find out the thing behind that is, I want to have money to get my kids in horse riding lessons, you're going to say, okay, well, how much are horse riding lessons, or how much money would you need per month? Maybe it's like $600. Okay, well, that might be part of your tool. This binder and this stuff you bring is like your toolkit. Doesn't mean you need every tool in the kit, but you have it with you. And maybe you need to pull that sheet out as part of your tool box for that appointment, because that's her payoff, and you need to just show her, what that could look like. So that's why I like to have the toolkit with me, but I don't love to bring out everything in the toolkit because it may not be necessary for what we're doing. So hope that helps. All right, I am driving home with one new team member on my team. How fun. I knew she was going to sign up. I'm going to be honest. Honestly, I just think that's true anytime you're going to meet with someone. Like if they're interested enough to meet with you, they probably are going to want to start. So it was really great though. Her husband had some like really awesome questions. I thought he was ready to sign up. He was like, this is amazing. You should do this. And she was still a little skeptical, but just a great couple and just really excited for them. And that's why I love doing what I do. I love team building, is because I really want to know what the payoff is for them. And it was so sweet. He's like, well, the money would be really nice, but. So when someone says the something would be really nice, but, you want to listen to what's after the but. Okay, so money would be nice, but, and I find this to be very true with Mary Kay, it's always the intangible things are the but, right? Like the money's great, but. And so for her, the but is having confidence, getting out more, being comfortable, around other women, having those relationships. She's got 4 kids, so we love our kids, but sometimes we need non-kid time. So she's excited for that too. So yeah, just like a really, really great thing. I was wearing so I want to talk about what I'm wearing too a little bit. Forgot to talk about this on the way in, but when I meet people for coffee, I like to meet them where they're at. And they actually drove down to the Twin Cities for an appointment, like a medical appointment, and I knew that they would be casual, and so I wanted to be casual too. And quite frankly, I'm out running errands too. Like, again, yes, we want to be professional, we want to be dressed up, but there's a time and a place where it's also smart to show people the real side of you. And I'm actually wearing, so you maybe can see this. This is our future area sweatshirt. So it's got 20 bumblebees on it, and they're all different because it represents the 20 or more different women that we're building into directorship. And so we're really proud of our sweatshirt. So I always tell my team, whenever I wear it, I think of you. So, yeah, so now we've got one more great gal in our unit. So I hope that these tips, just help you. And you know what? Don't be scared. Don't be scared to do it wrong. Because a lot of you aren't doing it because you're scared you're going to do it wrong, or you're scared that I used to, and I know this because this used to be me, right? Like I wouldn't do this stuff because I would just think, oh my gosh, but what if I like mess it up and then she doesn't join and blah blah blah, all the what if scenarios we make up in our head. But here's what I've come to believe, and this isn't just about team building, this is about appointments too, like sometimes how appointments cancel that we thought would be really good. I just believe that if she is meant to be on my team, this is so freeing. This is going to make you really good at recruiting. If she is meant to be on my team and I'm doing the things I need to do and it's meant to be, then she will be, right? I can't put that kind of pressure on myself like, oh, well, what if it's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just, if anything, just making sure you're really connecting the payoff for her. Like, what's the thing behind the thing? And then connecting the Mary Kay payoff to that. But other than that, it's like, God's got this, right? He's gonna lead you to there, whatever, thing you believe in. That's what I believe in, but you might believe differently, but that's fine. It's if she's meant to be on your team, then she will be in some way at some time. And we just got to be free with that thought and do our thing and share this awesome opportunity with people. So I hope this helped you. I always love talking to my friends. People driving by me just think I'm talking to myself. That's cool. I don't mind them thinking that. It's fun talking to yourself, right? Bye, guys.